Morning, everybody. I'm John Brewin, Chief Executive, and with us today is Andrea, and I'll let her introduce herself. Morning, Andrea.
Morning, John. Hi, I'm Andrea Dickens. I'm the Trust Staff Side Chair for the organisation.
Brilliant stuff. And today we're talking about probably one of the most important things that we've got on our list of things to do over the next few weeks, which is the National Staff Survey, which invokes lots of different emotions in people. But the reason it's so important, it's your chance to tell us what it's like working and being in Notts Healthcare. And we've got an aspiration to make this one of the best trusts in the country. We've got a lot of work to do. We've started to do some of that. But over the next few weeks, we're hoping to get a massive response back from all our wonderful staff about what it's like here. And it's really important to say it as it is. And we don't want it dressed up, but we need your responses. Andrea, have you got some sort of words of wisdom to get us all to respond?
Absolutely, John. Years ago when I worked clinically, I worked within the district nursing team, and we were a very suspicious bunch of staff when it came to staff survey, to the point where we all put the staff survey printed out onto the table, mixed them all up, and then each of us filled them all in and sent them off. That was back in the day when you had them delivered as opposed to having them via email, and we were suspicious. What are the organisation asking us? Why do they want to know our views? And further down the line now, I know they are non-identifiable to staff, and I believe if you want to invoke a change within the organisation, we as staff members have to change what we do on a daily basis. So if you've never filled them in before, fill them in, because they are non-identifiable. I've been off and I've done mine. The first thing I've done this morning is filled my staff survey and even gone on to the extra questions that needed to be answered, because it's like I've said, if you want to change something within the organisation and just let the organisation know this is your opportunity, you've got a great window to fill these staff surveys in and get them sent off as soon as you can. 10 minutes, that's all it took me.
Staff often say there's a number on the form which is identifiable, but that's the external company that everybody across the NHS uses called Picker, so that they can identify when someone has completed a form and don't then keep sending reminder emails. The only feedback we get is concentrated across numbers of teams. So we can say, for example, what the response rates have been from forensic services or community health services, but we have no intention of identifying what individuals have written. And of course, there is, as you said, Andrea, there is a space on the form for people to write free text about their experiences, and they're often really, really helpful insights into some of the challenges that staff have experienced.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Andrew, were you saying earlier you got the latest response rates to hand?
Yes, we've out of the eligible sample of staff there of 8,816, 1,348 staff have completed theirs. Well, it's probably more now because I've done mine this morning, so I would say 1,349.
So that's a really good start for response rates. Last year we got into the low 40%. Some of the top performing trusts are over 60. So we really urge you to get as many people as we can to get responding. I think it's probably important because the other feedback bit we get is, so what? We give you all this feedback, but nothing ever changes. But we've had some fantastic, I think, evidence this year of things that we've done to in response to the survey. I don't know if you've got anything there on your list, Andrew. I've got a few things that I want to trumpet.
Yep. I think on my list is we've got a dedicated team and enhanced service for staff health and wellbeing. That's huge within the organisation, and I think more so now, you know, with staff, frontline staff and back office staff working through the COVID-19, it's been quite challenging and exhausting for our staff as well, and having those mindfulness and all the other things that's on those lists, that's been really useful, because I've used those as well. Support for the BME colleagues, more than 230 members of the BME network. Parallel mentoring to be introduced as well, so that's really the new values and behaviours coming out within the trust. Have you got anything else, John, that you want to?
Yeah, and they were the main things. I think the staff health and wellbeing service is a massive undertaking, and for an organisation this size, I think it's a fundamental thing that we need to be providing for all our staff. And previously we had some good bits, but it was a bit ad hoc. But I would really want this to become a broad suite of opportunities to support staff, both from a psychological, also physical health perspective too. Yeah. I think the work around inclusivity that we're doing, particularly with the BME network, is really promising. We've got a lot of work to do there, and again, it'd be interesting to get some further feedback on the survey this year as to how our staff are feeling that's going. And the work on the values, I think, has really put us on a firm footing in terms of what they mean for individuals and teams, and how that should influence our behaviours as we progress. So yeah, I think that's a great start. As I said earlier, I think there's lots more to do, but we're in a much better position than we were a year or two back.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other particular things you wanted to say about this, Andrew, before we sort of summarise this and urge people once more to get that form filled?
I have been up to IT this morning as well, and I've asked the guys in there, have you filled your staff survey in? And one of the chaps said to me, well, we don't get time to do it, we've got slots every 15 minutes. And I just said, well, block a slot out, you know, block a 15-minute slot out, each of you. You know, you can do this in work's time. You know, you don't have to do it in your own time, but I think it's important for managers to understand and support staff into filling these staff surveying, you know, giving them time and the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, one of the important things that you've mentioned there, and just to reiterate it, is that it's okay to use work time to fill these forms in, and that's our sort of take 10. It doesn't take that long. Even I can fill it in.
Yeah,
it's fairly easy to follow. But yeah, to take some time out of your busy day, have a cup of tea, have a chat with a couple of colleagues if you want to. All feedback is welcome, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get something back to us. So I think we'll probably leave it there for today. Thanks ever so much, Andrea, for your and all of the staff side support on this. I know the most important thing is working in partnership together to get us to move things forward. And I'm sure we'll look forward to a positive impact this year.
Absolutely, John, absolutely. Thank you. We will be pushing it from staff side, because, you know, everybody needs to have their say. So I urge everybody to fill their staff survey in. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.